Hello, everyone. My name is Bernardo Sim, and I'm a writer for Out Magazine. Today, I'll be speaking with the TMFO herself, Lagoona Bloo, about her debut album, Underwater Bubble Pop. So let's get started. Laguna, how are you doing?
I am great. I'm so thrilled. It's been such an amazing such an amazing time the last few months, like gearing up for the release. And I've been working on the album for a year now, and putting the creative together has been so invigorating, and I'm just so thrilled. And I'm so thrilled to talk to you.
Yeah, we're thrilled to talk to you too. We've been trying to work on something for a long time, but you're booked and busy and blessed.
Oh,
And I really wanted it to be something big and special. And I think there couldn't be a better time and project than this one. Before we zoom into this incredible album, can you tell people where you were born and what your folks did for a living?
absolutely. Where I was born and what my folks did for a living?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I was born in Prairieville, Louisiana. So I was born and raised in the deep South to a Mexican American household. My mom was an immigrant from Mexico, and my parents had an amalgamation of jobs, but um my mom uh my mom was a secretary. She also cleaned houses, and my dad was a cell site technician and worked for um, yeah, a few various jobs. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I think a lot of people might not realize that you're Latina.
Oh, they don't. A
um,
lot of people don't.
Yeah, and so can you talk about a little bit about that heritage that plays into the album?
Absolutely. Well, Spanish was actually my first language. I remember being in kindergarten. My first day of kindergarten, my my teacher was like, Mrs. Brumfield, David might have to come back next year. He doesn't speak any English. And my mom was like, well, did you ask him to speak in English? And she was like, no. And she was like, David, speak in English. And I was like, no, no, no. And she was like, we'll see you tomorrow. So it was it's so interesting because like my parents, when we grew up, my mom was very, w did everything that she could to make us as American as possible. So my mom
Right.
did not like us to go out in the sun. She didn't want us to get tan. She always had her hair blonde. She was always like, I'm an American girl now. So it's been really interesting now that she's passed, and now that both my parents have gone, rediscovering this beautiful culture that I have that's always been a part of me, and it's always been ingrained in me, and it is who I am. It's That's the thing. It's a beautiful part of me, and so I really wanted to make this album a huge introduction of that, and really stamp my name as a Latin queer independent artist. And so
Yeah.
that's why it was really important for me to release music in Spanish. And the title track, Underwater Bubble Pop, is it has a sister single, Burbuja Pop, which is my
Mhm.
first release in Spanish, which makes me just so elated. And yeah, it's very important to me because I mean, I it's something that um it defines who I am, and I am very excited to make it a huge part of my brand, and like really represent these parts of me that I was kind of afraid to, not afraid, but um yeah, I guess I never had the courage to really pursue it. And now reflecting on my past, and especially that my parents are gone, it's just so important for me to to release music like this. And I'm so proud of it.
Yeah, there's a reason why I'm asking these questions. I think there's a lot of those
Mm.
factors that play into the album, and I just think there's this flourishing of your identity and who you are and your confidence and your point of view that I think it really comes through in this album, and it makes me so
Thank you.
excited to hear it. Um, I was born and raised in Brazil, and even though we speak
Where are you?
Portuguese, yeah, I was born and raised in Brazil. I only moved here when I
Oh,
was 18, but I'm always clocked in with other Latinos here, forging their own path. And I come from the land of Pablo Vittar and Gloria Groove, who are
of course.
just top level musicians competing
Of
with
course.
actual straight counterparts. And I literally feel like Underwater Bubble Pop is in the same lane as those artists. I literally feel like this is a mainstream album. This is a radio ready album. This isn't just a great drag album. This is an amazing record of pop music.
Thank
And
you.
was that something that you were aiming for when putting together this album?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing is that I feel like drag music is, and drag queens in general, I think, especially in the United States, like we're not, we're pushed into a box as far as what we're capable of I feel like in all aspects of the entertainment industry. And it's so inspired. I'm so inspired by Pablo Vittar and Gloria because I mean, they're doing what I want to be doing. And I've noticed that like we don't really have that here in the United States. Like we don't,
Yeah,
we have I mean all of us make music drag queens, every drag queen that hits RuPaul's Drag Race releases a single, right? And then we have those iconic singers. We have Adore, we have Courtney Act, we have Trixie Mattel who's like banging out music all the time, we have Alaska
right.
who's just like the echelon of drag music. And not only did I want to join those ranks, but I wanted to change people's minds about what drag music is capable of because I fully agree. My intention was to make a pop album. Obviously, it's oozing it's oozing with glitter and shimmer and camp, with tracks like Elle Woods and Toys, and even Underwater Bubble Pop and TMFO, they have this sort of like playful camp that you would find in drag music, but you also find that camp in like Katy Perry and a lot of like
Mhm.
um a lot of these like especially of this like this like recession pop, which is kind of the era that I'm pushing for this album. But like there's so much camp even Britney Spears, like if I said I want your body now, would you hold it against me, which is like a pun, so I realized that like, oh my God, this is a perfect vessel to create great pop music. And that was like fully the intention. And not only that, but I wanted to create a body of work that was super inspiring and uplifting because pop music was such a safe space for me when I was a kid. I mean, my three trinities were like my trinity was Britney, Christina, and Shakira. And so
Okay.
super obviously there's so much Latin influence with Christina, and obviously Shakira is just like the like global, I think, Latin pop star. I think she's just the one for me.
The one.
And um and so yeah, it was really interesting. Like I feel like you can hear those references all over the album. You can hear my references. You can hear the girls who've inspired me in
Yes.
this record. And so yeah, I it's been not a challenge. Well, yeah, it's been a challenge because on the music industry side, people are like, "Oh, she's a drag queen." So that's what that is. But on the drag side, it's like it's the same thing. It's like I'm getting this like I can't tell you how many people have like groaned when if they don't know me and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to sing a song now." And they're like, "Oh, because there's this not even a stigma, but we have this box of what people think drag is." And that is
Yeah.
what I want to do. I mean, my goal is to break into mainstream. My goal is to influence, to be a queer, standout in such a hetero industry. And yeah, like I said, I just feel like we don't. I'm very honored and proud to say that I feel like I'm actively pursuing this in a way
Mhm.
that um I haven't really seen yet in drag, especially for someone who hasn't had a platform. So the
Mhm.
fact that I've been able um to do this music and make this name for myself and start building this name for myself as a pop artist is just so invigorating, and it makes me feel like all of the hard work that I've been doing for the last 8 years are finally coming together, and it's really invigorating.
I definitely think this is the album that could break that barrier. I definitely think your reference points are reference points anyone can recognize, and the songs are, as I said, radio ready, and that's why I was drawing the parallel with Pablo and Gloria because
Mhm.
that's what they do. They really don't do drag music; it's just the music. And
Yeah,
next thing I know, my grandma is singing to Pablo Vittar like on the radio, and my nieces
yeah,
who are 15. And I feel like there's so many songs in this album that I'm like, I can see little girls singing to it. I can see grandma singing to it because it's just
yeah.
across the board a really good pop album.
Yeah. I
What I
mean, I
wanted to
really wanted, oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go
I
ahead.
mean, I mean, to echo what you said, like I wanted people to listen to this and not think drag music first. I
Mhm.
consider myself a singer, a musician before a drag queen. Like I'm a singer and recording artist who happens to do drag, not a drag
Right.
queen who sings music. And so
Right.
I'm so excited to hear that that is immediately your response is, wow, this is radio ready, because that is exactly what I was going for.
Yeah. To go through this track list, I think
Yeah.
TMFO being the first song
Mhm.
is really a statement, and I'm gonna try to explain what I mean. I feel like Aqua, your EP, is this like gorgeous, introspective, emotional um, EP that you are finding your voice, figuring yourself out, and a lot of the lyrics explore themes of like longing and yearning and dreaming
Correct.
and trying to think ahead and learning about yourself. And I think this
Right.
album right off the bat is just like, I'm here now, like I figured it out, or I'm way ahead of where I was last time I released an EP. And I just think there's this immediate vibe shift that is so exciting to hear, besides the song being amazing, being such a bop, but there's just this vibe shift that I think fans of yours from Aqua and from other songs in the past are just going to be really excited to press play, and this is the first song they hear.
Thank you. Yes, no, TMFO is honestly one of my favorites on the record. It was one of the last
Same.
ones that we wrote. We actually rewrote it because there was a version of the song before, and I was like listening to all my demos before recording, and that one I was like, this is TMFO. This is the mother one. I was like, this song has to be it. And I was like, no, I don't. I was like, so we rewrote it, and I sent some new inspiration, and then we came with TMFO, and I love it. It actually funny story. I uh TMFO, that saying of the motherfucking one,
Mm-hmm.
comes from a time when during the pandemic. I don't know if I can say this. I don't know if you can cut this out or not, or we'll see. But um I did acid with some friends and we were watching The Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And have you seen The Matrix?
Yeah.
Have you seen The
And
Matrix?
I've done
Oh my God.
acid.
Yeah, work. Well, then you know. So I was watching The Matrix, and I was sitting there, and you know have you seen Matrix is one of my favorite movies ever. I think it's so
Same.
incredible. But there's the scene where the lead Neo goes to see the Oracle to be like to figure out if he's the one, and he goes and he's like, "Am I the one?" And she's like, "I don't know. Are you?" And he's like, "No, I don't think I'm the one." And she's like, "Great. Well, you're not the one." And then he
Right.
leaves, and then he's like, "Wait, no, I have to say my friend, I am the one." And he becomes the one. And I was sitting there like trading balls, and I was like, "Wait, we are the one." I was like, "We create our own realities." I was like, "I'm the motherfucking one." I was like, "I'm the one." And that became this like mantra for me. And I started saying it at all my shows, like for years. I was telling my audiences to say that they are the motherfucking ones. I was like preaching this thing of like, you have to speak highly of yourself to the universe so that the universe can give you
Right.
these, give it back to you. And I realized I wasn't doing that. I was like telling my audiences, I was not practicing what I was preaching. I was not doing that. And so right off the bat, like it was I literally, it was the first song that I wrote down. I was like, TMFO. I was like, this is what I want. I want a song that is exclamatory. That is, I am the motherfucking one. Something simple and easy. And like, I say it to myself all the time. And I'll just be
Yeah.
like, when I'm stressed, when I think I can't do something, when I'm faced with an obstacle, or when I'm about right before I go on stage, I'm always like, it's just like, and it's been a really, it's been, I mean, I've been saying it over myself for the last like 2 years, but I think writing the song, now singing it over myself, it means even more to me now. Because it's like, wow, like not only am like, is this an anthem for me, but brings me so much joy that I have given, I've made an anthem that my audience can listen to. I literally just got a message the other day from from a fan, a follower, and she was like, "Hey, I've had TMFO on all morning, and I just nailed my interview, and it went really well, and I just thank you so much. I was so amped because of this song." And I was like, almost like I was like, oh my God, thank God, yay, oh my God, that's great, But like that's the goal. That is it's feel good, and it has it has fuck in it. So and it's fuck a lot, but which is usually such a negative, it comes, as a curse word, but
Hmm.
it, it's this amazing like expletive and exclamatory like statement of like power that I hope that I hope, I hope everybody loves. And very intentionally put it first. I was like, I can't have a song called The Motherfucking One and it not be first. So
Yeah,
yeah, so and I love to hear your response of being like what Aqua was and this dream world of this longing
right.
to this start of this exclamation of who I am. So
Yeah.
I'm very that you picked that up. So thank you.
Of course, yeah. There's just an immediate vibe shift, and this reintroduction of this new era in your career. Fun fact: on my Spotify Wrapped of last year,
Mhm.
Elwood's was my number two most played song on Spotify.
Hey, we love that. I'm so
Number two,
thrilled.
it was
Good.
Rush and Elwood's. Rush by Troye Sivan, Elwood's Lagoona Blue. On my
Hell
Spotify Wrapped.
yeah. Oh my
I
God,
was
you just made
listening
my
to
day.
that all the time. I listen to music all day. That being my second most listened to song of the year. It's wild,
Oh
but
my
I
God.
listen to it a
That is
lot. What is your connection to Legally Blonde, this universe, this character, that you felt like this was a great song to write and put into the world?
Well, Elwood, I mean, Legally Blonde is one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's also one of my very favorite musicals. Like I love Legally Blonde the
Hmm.
musical. And I that one of my like best friends in like middle school, her favorite movie was Legally Blonde. So connected over that. Also into high school was like doing productions of Legally Blonde and things of that. So like this story of being underestimated and being of like people thinking that you can't do something and proving people wrong speaks to me so much. And so when I was sat down with my writing team, I sat down with Ash Gordon, who's an amazing writer in LA. I love her so much. And we sat down and I told her, I was like, I wanted a song that was all about like about being about overcoming being underestimated. I wanted a song that was like, oh, you thought I couldn't do it? Watch me do it. And
Hmm.
as we were like, conceptualizing and like putting, concepts together and lyric ideas, Ash was like, "Hey, what if like she was like sometimes I like to like write songs based on like movie characters and like a movie character who like comes to mind that who like immediately who like really, overcame being overlooked is Elle Woods. Like, do you like Legally Blonde?" And I literally was like
Do I like Legally Blonde?
I was like, we were over Zoom, so I shut my computer. I was like, you genius, yes. And I got so excited, and it literally, I was like, and she said, Elle Woods, like, do you like Legally Blonde? I said, baby, I'm a star. What? Like, it's hard, and like, it came out, and it was like, literally,
Wow.
we wrote the song in an hour and a half. It just like because it was like, oh my God, that's exactly right, that's perfect, and beyond the like loving the movie itself, I mean, it is a part of like pop it's like an iconic piece of pop culture. Like it's
Yeah.
Legally Blonde. Kids is such an iconic character that everyone is familiar with, that so many people can relate to. And I mean, and low key very queer coded. So I was like, this I can't go
Very.
wrong. I was like, I can't go wrong. And it was just really interesting because like it was actually writing Elle Woods that was a part of my like changing the way I thought about pop music, and expanding my mind of what is possible to be written about. And yeah, that one, I mean, it was so easy because like it just happened. Like I was just like, yeah, baby, I'm a star, and la 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 la, oh, that they wrote themselves. So
So catchy.
it was one of those songs that like as soon as I heard the track and as soon as it just like happened, and that's how I knew it was right. So
Yeah, it is so catchy. The hook is so catchy. I'm
thank
still
you.
trying to get Miss Reese Witherspoon to notice the all the work that you
I know, I
did.
gotta
It's on
attack
my
her.
campaign.
Reese! Yeah, we
I'm
gotta
gonna
get into
add
it.
her again in the interview.
Please,
But
please do.